Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're on New Babbage on MicroTech and we'll be attempting to complete an HRT Bounty mission. Today I'm wearing the Red Alert armor set, one of them, and I'm excited to try using the new ship released in patch 4.3.1, which is the Apollo Triage. This ship is quite unique and also has a bit of a controversy around it, especially in relation to its rear door access, which is quite narrow. And there was a bit of an expectation that you would be able to fit vehicles inside the ship. But given the very narrow entrance, the range of vehicles that could potentially fit here, it's quite limited. But you have to remember that this ship is quite focused. It's meant to fulfill a medical role. It can't do much of cargo, and is apparently not meant to carry vehicles. Or of course, as you know, Star Citizen, it can be played in any different way you wish. You don't really have much constraints, so potentially you could fit a vehicle if you want to. The way I set it up, the ship, I put a tier 1 medical bed on the right, and this is the bed that will be able to heal the most severe injuries, but I will be using it as my respawn point, purely because it can hold the most amount of medgels. As you know, in this latest patch, medgel is a new addition to medical gameplay, and it has changed completely the way we think about survival and revival in the game. So if you are downed and you are to respawn in your medical bed, each respawn will cost you 100 units of medgel. Medgel currently comes in canisters, and a canister can hold 200 units of medgel. So basically, one canister can sustain 2 respawns. I'm gonna have the tier 2 medical beds as my go-to avenue for patching up injuries. Anything from tier 3, which are like low severity, to tier 2 of medium severity. And because I have 2, hopefully they will last quite a while. I'm not planning to give you a full tour of the ship because there's been other tours already sort of released on YouTube. But the ship offers small cargo capability, but the main point of interest here are the medical facility and of course the modularity of the ship, and you have flexibility to tailor the bed setup as you wish. But the unique thing about this ship now is that it's the only ship that can host a tier 1 medical bed. It used to be Idris in previous patches, but Idris has lost that capability, and the Idris tier 1 bed has been downgraded to tier 2, and that in a way gives a bit of a uniqueness to this ship. Of course, there's a sister ship to it. It's called the Medivac. To be candid with you, I liked the red color much more, so I chose this one, even though the Medivac, the sister ship, is like a military version, and the only difference between Triage and the Medivac is the number of missiles that it has. But for me, it just didn't make a lot of sense, and I still like the red color of this ship. As you can see, it's quite an amazing style. I really like the shape of it. It flies a bit sluggish. Obviously, it's a big ship. It's considerably bigger than it was originally presented in concept. But we'll give it a test now, see how it goes, and we'll also see whether the mission functions or not. So let's call the air traffic control at New Babbage and head off to the site of our mission. Landing gear up. Well, it's dark outside and you can't really appreciate the beauty of the ship, but we'll see where the mission location will be on the right side of the planet. But at least you'll get the opportunity to see New Babbage at night. This is of course another amazing location. Nevertheless, Lorville on Hurston remains my favorite spot, but I did say in my previous videos that I will take the opportunity to try different landing zones so that we can have a bit of variety on the locations. We're currently trying to take altitude. Of course, the ship does feel like a larger ship. No way controls or maneuvers like the Terrapin does or the Cutlass Red. Like those are like the other medical ships in the verse. The speed is rather slow as well, so it takes its time. It takes its time to take altitude. I really enjoy the shape of the ship. I think it's quite interesting. It's unique as well, but you can still see the RSI family DNA within its design philosophy. And one thing to notice, they did a considerable workaround or improvements to the sound of the engine. It's quite of a unique sound, a bit of a growling aspect to it. It gives it a different kick. But let's see where we are with the altitude. We'll be engaging the quantum drive so that we can pick up speed, and then we will reposition the ship to engage quantum drive and travel to our location. So I have quantum drive online. Let's open our map and set the course. So having this HRT mission, I'm hopefully won't be buggy as my previous mission attempts, but you never know the luck of the draw. So we're testing this mission today. So far so good. Seem to be having the same challenges with engaging the quantum drive as we did before. I did spoke too soon. Let's see if it works now. Very interesting. It fails to engage quantum drive to our location. This used to be a bug that hasn't been resolved. Same as last time, we will choose a different a different quantum location, and we'll stop halfway through, and then we'll return to where we need to be. Seems to be a bit of a challenge to travel from within the sort of lower planet orbit.
Auto drive is now on. Auto drive is now off. Auto drive is now on.
It is working now. So the game still has its moments. It kind of makes you think on your feet.
Auto drive is now
But
off.
it is what it is. Alright, so we're making a final approach. The ship does maneuver more sluggish than what I originally expected. So we'll have a bit of a more wider approach so that we don't have a abrupt descent rate. Again, we're not lucky, we're still on the dark side of the planet. So you can't fully appreciate the color of the ship in daylight. Let's continue our descent. Really nice engine sound there. So still around 8,000 meters altitude and just under 10 kilometers away from our destination. Seem to be having a very steep descent angle. So let's just correct for that. Seems to be raining as well. You can see droplets on the windshield. I really like this feature. Okay, we already see the ground. So be careful we're not slamming into it because it's really dark outside. Right, let's turn. So that's where the location, where it is. Let's just circle around and at the same time decrease the altitude just below 1500 meters. So you should be looking for a spot to land. Let's engage lights. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
Can go a bit closer. One feature of the ship is that the speed when the landing gear is down is very low compared to many of the other ships in the game. So that's something different.
Landing complete.
Great, we landed. Turning off the lights, turning off the engine.
Engines are off.
I'll be leaving the system zone so that my shield remains active, just in case someone wants to take my ship. I'm gonna check again, just in case, the respawn point, and then we'll be exiting the ship through the front exit. So yes, current location is in the Apollo, fine. So we're good to go. So yeah, this ship came with a second front access point. It's quite interesting the way it's been set up. Let's go down. Okay, well, it's actually snowing. So it's really amazing. So let's see what we have on location here. I parked quite far away, but again, the low speed of the ship with the landing gear down took me by surprise. I don't see any movement around so far. Those boxes floating in the air. Let's see what we have. See, when it's snowing or raining outside, it deposits on your visor. So you have to kind of constantly clean away. There's someone outside. And a bunch of individuals outside. So let's be tactful in how we approach. I'm using a suppressed weapon. I like to be successful in not drawing attention at these early stages. So let's take them on the flanks, but again, it might just completely fail. We have this guy there. And this guy there. And a number of guys at the entrance. A couple actually. So let's deal with him. Well, element of surprise gone. So that's fine. They managed to bust me as well a bit. Have our med gun. Trusted med gun. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Let me just seek some cover. Patch myself a bit. I'm surprised by the level of accuracy at this distance that they're having. Yeah, indeed. We took 7 out of 14. I assume the other 7 are inside. Give us an opportunity to loot. So let's see what they have. I'm primarily interested in ammo that I can use with my current weapons are like those two Golan rifles batteries. I'm not gonna be a loot goblin and take everything, at least not today. But just interested in any ammo they may have, or med pens. Oh, this is interesting. I might use later that one as well. Ammo can be quite expensive if you want to buy, so it's quite advisable to loot the ammo for the weapons that you like to use the most. But if you don't know, just you can probably take everything and sell it, and you can make sort of reasonable profit on the back of that. Yeah, same applicable to the armor. Oh, someone else outside. Interesting. The mission seems to be working because they keep count of the hostiles remaining, so it's a good sign. I think we'll be spending time outside in the snow, and our armor took a whitish color, but once you go inside and it kind of goes back to room temperature, this sort of white shade will disappear. They can be more successful with these suppressed weapons here. He's suspecting something. He hasn't seen me. He hasn't. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Nor has the other. This is suspicious. Perfect. He's looking for me. Done. So we have one more to take by surprise, if you can. Actually, two. Inevitably, they will come this way. There's no other way they could arrive here. We're gonna wait for him. And the other one. Is hidden. If I had a grenade, it'd be more useful. And it's a heavy as well. Alright. Shot me in the face. Alright, so now we have to prepare for the bounty to pop. Well, generally this guy is kind of a heavy armor individual, and he would be followed by his minions. So we have to deal with the number of threats now when he's popping up. I'll just take the opportunity to verify my ammo. Okay, let's wait for him. 10 more seconds. Generally they come out of these elevators, like cupboard looking almost. Look, like this one, we'll just pop him here. Good. He's out. And I can see the target as well, which is good. You can see he has other individuals with him. Let's deal with this guy. That's it, all done. Be sure to loot this guy relatively quickly, because otherwise his body will disappear. So if you don't have an opportunity to loot everything, I would just say just loot everything and then you can sort out what you have. Well, there's nothing for you to do now in the mission because the mission has been a success. If you stay around, there's highly chance you'll encounter more threats. But again, there are some, loot boxes that you might like to have a quick look through. If you find something interesting, useful things like med pens and didn't even see the guy. Oh. So it's what I was discussing about before. If you spend around too much time, they will just keep coming out of those cupboards. So you have to be careful. A bit of a lag there. Oh, might take this because I had another helmet from that set in my inventory, and I might just complete the set throughout the way. So that's it, we're gone. We're gonna head out. So the mission works, a bit of a challenge, which is always interesting. I wasn't expecting them to be as accurate. But yeah, the mission works. We're gonna head off to our ship and take off. See, there are guys outside as well now. So let's see if our way to the ship is clear. I don't see anyone. There's that guy there. Okay, so the more you dither around, the more guys you have to face, the more ammo you consume, and the benefit or the net profit from the mission decreases. So yeah, try to be sort of efficient, surgical, as I was, right? And you probably should make the most of the payout from the mission. So yeah, we're heading to the ship now. Going to be out of harm's way. Very beautiful, snowy MicroTech. Okay, so back to our ship. You can retract the rails, another interesting feature. So let's head out.
System off. Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check. Takeoff complete.
In this patch and in the previous patch, the turrets at those bunker locations have not been working. Otherwise we would have had to employ a completely different tactic, because we would have been shredded to bits. We wouldn't have been able to land as quickly, and most likely this ship would not have been the right approach for this mission. If the turrets were working, you would have required to use a ship that could carry a ground vehicle like an MTC or an Ursa to be able to come undetected by the turrets. But until then, we'll try to see other uses of the Apollo Triage and how can it can enhance gameplay.
Shields on.
You see, the speed is relatively slow. It's struggling to take altitude quickly, so you have to be patient with it until it can gain some speed and leave the gravity of the planet. Well, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please, leave a comment if you like to see something different. But thank you again for being with me today, and I'll see you next time.